Welcome to another episode of the Financial Armor Show. My name is Jose Rodriguez, investment advisor here at Cooper Financial, and your host for today, alongside my co-host Tony Shore. How you doing, Tony?
Good. We haven't done a show together in a
No, we
while.
haven't. I've
Gonna
been
miss.
missing you a lot.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sure. Well, Jacqueline and you did you had a great chemistry is the word I'm
yeah,
looking for, and the show was really good. So I can't hope to fill those shoes, but I am excited to do another show with you. I'm happy. I'm
yeah,
happy at least because I get to record with you again. That's awesome.
yeah. Well, we'll make it. We'll try to make it as fun as Jacqueline, uh,
I'll try. I'll
and
try.
more interesting. And but today we have a very good episode.
Okay.
Um, and something that has been and it connects with all the other episodes that I've been doing in the past, because something that I've said, Tony, and this year has been the year of a lot of our clients either passing away or getting diagnosed with
Mm.
very bad illnesses. And
Ooh,
it's really changed. I mean, it affects us emotionally,
of course.
obviously, because we are very close with our clients, but also we've gotten to see more of just different aspects of financial planning that people always either take for granted or forget,
Right.
right? And the reason I wanted to bring up this episode today is because, again, a lot of people have been passing away, and we are holding our clients' hands to make that transition from the obviously our clients to their beneficiaries.
Yeah.
And now we're coaching up the beneficiaries to know how to deal with this windfall, right?
Yes.
So on today's episode, I wanted to talk about what does someone do when they get this unexpected windfall, this money that they just got and they didn't know that it was coming, and now they got it.
Yeah, that's happening a lot more. I just read an article that's happening a lot. What do they call it? The great wealth transfer. All the baby
Mm-hmm.
boomers have all this money they've saved, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
starting to pass away and
Yeah.
leave it to the Gen Xers and the
Mm-hmm.
others, and it can be really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a tough thing. A lot of people are in that situation, and then of course you have the other situations. Most of it's inheritances, but if we have a listener out there that happens to win the lottery,
Yep.
you always hear about lottery winners who
Yep.
they're usually bankrupt within a few years, no matter how
Mm-hmm.
much money they win.
Mm-hmm.
Hundreds of million. It can be $1 million. It can be $100 million. 3 years, it's gone,
Yep.
which is sad.
Exactly.
Sad.
Exactly. And it's just when I was bringing this up, it definitely, I mean, someone can win the lottery, right? And that that the chances of that happening are very low. But something I just wanted to, it's just something. It is also very emotional for us to bring it up, that people are passing away and
Oh
taking
yeah.
this transition, right? And so that's the first thing that I think people go through with, and again, taking on this example of inheriting money from a loved one, and
So it's the emotional side
yeah, emotional
is the
side.
first aspect that you need to deal with, right?
Right, and the reason that is because most people that I've seen that inherit, let's say, just from the example that I think it was last episode that I did, I talked about one of my dearest and closest clients. A client passed away, and I'm helping the family had double digits beneficiaries, as a
Mhm.
bunch of nieces and nephews are getting this money, and it was a fairly large amount of money. And some of these, and I've talked to some of these nieces and nephews, and they feel guilt. They feel, I didn't earn this money. I appreciate, that my aunt left this money for me and that she cared about me and wanted to take care of all of us. But I feel weird getting this money. They say
Yeah.
they feel guilt because they didn't earn the money.
Hmm. Interesting. Well, I think, that's true. I think a lot of people fall on that side where it's
Hmm.
like, wow, what am I going to do with this? Or they might feel some guilt. But you also have to honor if you love that person or you understand it's out of love. So
Mhm.
you want to honor that person by being responsible with it. And I think that's a good way to look at it. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
person trusted me. I should feel good about it, not guilty.
Right. And that's where I think everybody should find that somebody to kind of walk through these thoughts, just to let it out and talk about what you're thinking, what you're feeling about getting this inheritance.
Yes.
And maybe somebody knows why. I mean,
Mm.
obviously there's a trust that says and outlines everything that says where the money is going to go. But there's no sometimes there's no letter that says, "Hey, I did this because of this."
Yeah.
An actual just a letter that says why they did something.
Yeah.
And that's where I took a role in that with this family is that thankfully I did know what the
Hmm.
money was for.
Yeah.
The
That's good.
because she talked about how much their great nieces and nephews meant to them, and they believe in education, higher education.
Mm.
So this money is going to be used for that,
That's
and
great.
that's
Yeah.
what it was. It doesn't outline that specifically on the trust, but I just know from conversation that that's what she wanted it for.
That's why she left them the money. And it's always great to have the why, but I think you illustrated something there that it really can solve a lot of these problems we're going to talk about in managing a windfall, and that is communication.
Hmm.
On the part of the people leaving the money with the people with the beneficiaries who are going to inherit it, right?
Hmm. Yeah, and after having those conversations, also another question you need to ask yourself is, what does this money mean to you?
Mm,
And and that should lead the conversation, right, on where we
yes.
want this to go eventually.
Yeah.
But first, there's a couple of steps that we need to take to be responsible with it and set ourselves up for success, and not end up like those people that win the lottery end up being broke out and, and bankrupt after 3 6 months, right?
Right, right. You want to manage that money, deal with the emotions of it. But then there are some things, some points I know you'd like to make. What
Hmm.
advice do you have for our listeners and viewers out there, Jose, on managing that windfall?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes in my mind is pay off any high interest debt.
Ah, sure.
Uh, what is high interest debt? Credit cards,
Credit cards.
uh, car loans that have come out in the last couple of years. I mean, those car loans are 8, 9. I've seen as high as 15%. Depends on your
Wow,
credit,
on a
right?
car loan, that's
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah,
So pay off any of those. And
yeah.
also, I have and I think this is more of a personal thing, but I think for me, what I consider high interest debt is anything above what you could possibly get in a high yield savings account. That's a personal thing that I see as a high interest
So,
because
yeah, I agree. Anything like above 3%.
3 or 4%, because that's what you
Yeah,
can get in a savings account, in a
right.
high yield savings account.
High yield, yes.
Yes. Because if you were being charged 3% um, over here, but you can for on this loan, but you're getting 4% on this high yield savings account, there's a 1% gain. They call the arbitrage
Yeah,
there, and that's why you wouldn't want to pay that off. And that's going against
right.
all of
Yeah,
what's his name? Dave
Dave.
Ramsey's
Yeah.
way of thinking.
Yeah, there's good debt and bad debt, and people
Hmm.
think good debt is impossible, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, big companies do it all the time." Apple
Hmm.
takes out loans.
Oh yeah.
If they can get low enough interest, why wouldn't they let their profits sit in investable, income where they're earning more money on it and
Hmm.
use the
Hmm.
bank's money at a low interest rate? Because then they're profiting. My wife and I have a 2.9% mortgage rate,
Oh my
interest rate.
gosh.
So
That is
what we and
ridiculous.
people are like, some people, I'm not gonna name names, but you hear some advice on the radio that would say you gotta pay that off before you're retired, and
Hmm.
before you do anything else. So people hear that and they think, "I'm gonna take money out of my 401k or my IRA and pay off my mortgage when I hit 59 and a half, no matter how much time they have left on it and no matter
Hmm.
what interest rate it's at." And so many people my age, I'm just a little bit older than you, but Brad and I,
Uh-huh.
uh, if we have lower interest rates because we maybe bought our house at a really great time. I mean, a
Yeah, I
lot of
think
people,
Brad's is like at 1.9 or
yeah,
something.
yeah, of course he has to be better than the rest of us. I thought I was bragging at 2.9, but if you have a 2.9 mortgage rate, use the bank's money and make money with yours, right? Is that what you're
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And, so, yeah, it's always finding that arbitrage, and even if you using that example of, and we're getting a little bit off topic, but just using that example that you said that some advisors on the radio might say, uh, to take money off out of your IRA to pay for it, you pay a 2% or 3%, interest loan, but you're also paying 20, 30% on any money that you take out of that account anyway.
Yeah.
So that therefore your interest is growing even higher. So
Yeah.
again, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially if you take it out before you're 59 and a half. But even
oh,
if you
that
wait,
just grows even harder.
yeah, even if you wait until then, you're going to pay taxes.
Mhm.
So, and you're going to deplete your retirement fund. So you've got to be careful. There's good debt and bad debt. But credit card debt is all bad debt. I mean,
Yep.
anything really over 4% is bad. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And, so the next step after that is to build, if you don't have one, an emergency fund.
Ah,
And again, I think I just made a podcast a couple of weeks ago, talking about that. What is an emergency fund? And
right.
just a quick recap: 3 to 6 months of expenses. If you're a dual income household, you can get away with 3 months. But if you're a one income household like myself, 6 months of expenses, it should be your standard.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that range. And how do people choose between 3 and 6 months? That's an easy way to think about it. If there's if the couple, both of them are working and have income, 3 months, you can get away 3 months, that's fine. But if it's just one person that is bringing all the income, then 6 months, is more appropriate.
Yeah.
So once you figure that out, make sure that that's funded, and either top it off or build from scratch. It doesn't matter, but just make sure you have one. And by the way as I'm going through these are in order of importance.
Ah,
So
sure.
the first, again, is the dealing with it in your mind, mentally,
The
emotionally, because
emotional.
once you get there, once get past that, you can make rational decisions,
Sure.
right? Then the second is pay off high interest debt. We've defined that. If there's still money left, we top off or build an emergency fund. And we've defined what that is. Now, the fourth, if there's still money left after that, the fourth is implement the rest of the money that you have into your personal financial plan. And if you don't have one, then consult a financial advisor and build one. And then have that conversation. Okay, how is this windfall going to affect me in my financial plan?
Yeah.
Is it obviously from an income perspective, it might help you as far as put you ahead. But okay, I mean, outside of that, how is this going to affect me tax wise?
Yeah.
How's it going to affect on my withdrawal rate, and when? What sequence of withdrawal should I do? Should I pull out from this other account, or should I pull from the account that I inherited first? Those kinds of questions, I would be asking. And that
Yeah.
financial advisor is the one that kind of brings it all together.
Yeah, that's where you come in, right? And this is these are the questions you help people answer and can
Hmm.
guide them and show them what strategies can be used. And that is so important. Obviously, if you get a windfall, you want to make sure you're doing the right things. I like that you brought up the emergency fund because if you have a windfall, it's a good time to get that shored up. No pun intended.
Hmm.
Shore up the emergency fund, get the emotions in check, shore up the emergency fund, get rid of debt. I think those are key, aren't they?
Hmm. Yeah, and then from there is where you can. I would say creative is a different way, is another way of doing it. One of the things that if you want to get more nitty gritty with things, one of the things that you can also think about is, okay, how can I get rid of my PMI on my mortgage? Right? Does that make sense? Right? That would be one question to ask.
How do I get the interest? You mean the interest down?
No, the equity of my house higher. So essentially
I
pay
see.
down the
Sure.
loan to the point that you can get rid of your PMI.
Yes,
Does
I
that make
got it.
sense?
Yeah.
Does
Yes.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Depends on how much that PMI is, and if it makes
Yeah.
sense.
You have to do the math, and this is
Yeah,
something you can help people see. That's another great strategy.
yeah, and
Yeah, I
then
never thought
also
of that one.
and then and also this because I thought about it for myself. What if, right?
Mhm.
Um, another thing that I've thought of is, well, okay, if I want to decrease that PMI, I've talked to some loan officers and some mortgage people. I'm sorry, real estate people, and I
Sure.
said, well, what if you do some remodeling that the same money you would have put to the loan to put it to that 20% mark so you can get rid of that PMI. What if instead you invested it in your house by remodeling some things that are high value, as far as that would increase the value on the house,
Yeah.
that will get you to that 20% equity. That would also be
Hmm.
an indirect way of doing it.
Wow.
And so those are, again, creative ways of how you can make this part of your plan, and
Yeah.
therefore decrease your monthly expenses, and you can increase monthly contributions to your overall plan.
Huge. Yeah, and there are so many different things, obviously,
Hmm.
and you're talking about
How
that you
much?
can do with a windfall, ways you can invest it, how to put it to use. I just think it's really great some of the ideas you've come up with. Obviously, you have to have the emergency fund. You
Hmm.
have to pay down debt, credit card debt, and high interest debt, and then beyond that, you can get more creative, like you
Yep.
said. Yeah,
And it's about obviously building the foundation if you don't have one,
right.
right? That's you have to do those things. And the foundation is pay off debt, pay off the high interest debt, build an emergency fund, and now we can start going on the decorating the house, as I say.
Sure.
The building the foundation. That's what you put in when you build a house. That's how you
Yeah.
build it. You have to build a foundation. Now, after you build the foundation, we can put up the drywall. Well, what color do we want the house to look like? Well, how many rooms? Those kinds of things, right? And then we can act accordingly.
Yeah.
And everything is situational. I was just talking about a house. You might not have a house. You might
Yeah.
not have a PMI. You might be renting. You might be in a totally different situation, and that's why everything needs to be talked about with a financial advisor to see how they can help you,
Yeah.
because it's all very situational.
Yeah, everybody's situation is different, is what you're saying. And that's why, to give specific advice on where to invest and what to do with the money, you'd need to sit down with somebody, find out where they're at, go over what they have or what they've inherited, where it's at, what the tax situation is at, where
Hmm.
the tax situation is at, and then come up with the best plan and strategy from there for that person. And as a trusted financial professional, I know that's what you do, Jose. You've helped so many people with this. So I just know our listeners will have questions, and I know you love to hear from our listeners and viewers out there, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, and everybody can give us a call at 888-390-5277 to schedule that no obligation first appointment with me, and we can discuss these things with you. And also, you can go on our website, financialarmorshow.com, and you can also schedule an appointment there, and we can talk through these things. And if it means just walking through it all, and then that's it, and that's how the kind of level of help you need, that's great, that's fine. There's no obligations on these appointments. So I look forward to anybody really that wants to get together and just talk through these things.
Yeah, it's so important. And you went over some great things. If you are expecting to inherit, or you're planning your inheritance, your estate plan, either way, make sure that you're communicating and working with a trusted financial services professional. This has been a great show, Jose. Listeners and viewers, one more time, to get any questions answered or schedule that no charge, no obligation consultation. Again, you can call 888 390 5277. That's 888-390-5277. Or go to financialarmorshow.com. Great show today, Jose.
Thank you.
All right, and that does it for today's episode of the Financial Armor Show with our host, Jose Rodriguez.